Lots going on in this man's world, getting set to call his 5th United States Open golf championship for Fox. And tonight, his St. Louis Blues play a Game 7 in Boston against the Boston Bruins. He's none other than Joe Buck. How are you, Joseph?
I'm great. I hope you guys are well.
We're doing good. Where are you watching Game 7 tonight? You have it all set up? Can you watch it with other people? Do you watch it by yourself? How are you with this, Joe?
I don't want to watch it with anybody. I've tried that. I mean, unless I'm in my seats at home,
right,
then I have no choice. But it would be weird, actually, if I cleared everybody out and just had them play for me and whoever I bring to the game that night.
You're plus one.
As being in Pebble Beach, I'm near Brad Faxon, who's a big Bruins fan, and I've watched 2 games with him, and both games the Blues got kind of blown out. So not only am I not going to watch with Brad, I don't even want to see Brad today. I've told him that. Fox is okay with that. We are being separated, and I'm going to watch in my room, screaming at the television.
No, so okay, that's what would it mean, Joe, if the Blues win tonight? You're the perfect person to put this into words. What would it mean for the city, for the fans who have been rooting for them for so long, if the Blues were able to hoist the cup tonight?
Man, it's hard for me to speak for an entire city. I know that personally, I was introduced to the Blues by my dad and being a fan and what it meant. He was their first voice on the radio, and they always had a really secure spot in his heart. And I saw how he watched and was jumping on the couch when they would, come close to scoring a goal or be ticked off when they gave up a goal. And so I fell in love with it at a young age, and I would watch a lot of games with my dad. And then as the years went on and I became a dad, my daughters were right alongside me. And it was the one thing that I'm able to go to as a fan and share that experience with my daughters and be openly crazy about the team and high-five strangers in the seats. I think the city's been through a lot. I think downtown St. Louis needs to get its act together and take a couple steps forward, but the people there are great. I think they get a bad rep for the Rams having left, despite, I think, tremendous support when they were, at the very least competitive. And, I think there have been a lot of long-suffering Blues fans that kind of feel like the Cubs before 2016 or the Red Sox fans, new generations before 2004. And a lot of that frustration, I think, would go away. I think the trip to this point has been worth every bit of it anyway, but it would be cool to see them win the cup, and I think it'd give the city a real lift.
You do realize, Joe, that, you do realize, I know this, that you're accused all the time, and unrightfully so, of rooting against other people's teams. Tonight, though, Boston Bruins fans tonight could actually accurately accuse you of rooting against their team tonight.
No, let's make no mistake about it. I am rooting against Boston. I'm rooting for St. Louis. But when it comes to the baseball stuff and the football stuff,
right,
really what it boils down to is I'm not there rooting for them. And that's, they hear announcers all year, especially in baseball, rooting along with them. And I get it, because when I'm not only I'm a season ticket holder, but I'm the majority of the games I watch are on TV. And so John Kelly and Darren Pang are the guys that are calling the action, and they have the same rooting interest that I do. And then when the games matter the most, they're gone. And you have somebody that's splitting it down the middle and getting excited for the Bruins when they score, and that's their job, and the same for the Blues. But you want to hear people on TV that have the same allegiances that you do, and when you don't, it's unnerving when you haven't heard that all year. So I understand all that stuff, but this is one that I'm not related to work-wise, and so I make no bones about it. I mean, I'm a Blues fan and have been since I was a little kid.
And Ham, do you know, is Ham going to be there? Do you know if John Ham's going to be there tonight?
I don't know. I haven't been texting with him. I just keep up with him in all the NBC promos. It's like it goes like Parayko and Petrangelo and Chara and Krug and Doc Emmerich and John Hamm.
You know what? He's just a handsome guy, but you understand that, right? It's just he's a guy.
Oh, I do.
So
I mean, I think we're all jealous of the
Ham.
granite like chin that he has, and the whole thing.
The scarves.
He's big into scarves these days.
Well, it's cold in these hockey arenas before the fans get in there.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It used to be, but I think they've kind of perfected that, where the actual experience for fans is not one where you're freezing. So I don't know. I don't know what the scarf thing is, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it within the next month.
Joe Buck, Fox Sports, here on the Rich Eisen Show, unapologetic to root against your team tonight if you're a Boston Bruins fans here on the Rich Eisen Show.
Go ahead and hate me for being a Blues fan.
No.
That's good.
No,
I don't care. No, not you.
Oh, okay, good.
The Bruins fan. That's fine. That's what it's all about. That's the fun part of being a fan.
So, and then being a fan too. I know, obviously, you're a lead pipe wielding professional. Got a U.S. Open. It's got to be pretty cool walking around Pebble Beach saying, "I'm going to call an event here, and it's the U.S. Open." That's got to be pretty cool this week for you, Joe.
It's like I said to somebody the other day, it's like getting ready to do a World Series at Old Yankee Stadium or Fenway or Wrigley, or it's like calling an NFC Championship game at Lambeau. It's just different, It feels big, and people here. The security is unbelievable. I mean, it is impossible to get around here. It is locked down. And if you're going to be locked down in some place, being locked down looking at the Pacific Ocean and a golf course and the landscape around here, it's pretty spectacular. And I think the storylines on the PGA Tour and what's happened in the majors already this year with Tiger and then Brooks Koepka, sets up for you. Rory firing in here after what he did in the Canadian Open. I think there's a potential here for a really cool leaderboard, and that's not even mentioning Phil.
Yeah, and obviously Koepka going for 3 in a row. I mean, he owns back-to-back PGAs. He owns back-to-back U.S. Opens. Nobody's ever been able to say that at one single moment in history. And we played it just earlier in the show. Your video with Koepka this week, where he told you do such a great job with Romo and called you Jim. That was fantastic, Joe. That was very, very well done.
Next level self-deprecation. I sat down with him and did an interview, and he was great. And I know he mentioned Fox in his press conference, saying that Fox didn't have him in the promo. Isn't really accurate. And the side of the Fox building in L.A., I believe, has a gigantic picture of Brooks Koepka. But all that being said, I think that's just kind of the way he operates these days. He wants motivation. He wants to hear the crowd chanting DJ, DJ when a lead is slipping away on the back nine of the PGA, or he wants, to feel like everybody at Bellerive in St. Louis wanted Tiger to win. And that motivates him. And so he tries to find little things that get under his skin. Some are legit, and I think some are kind of manufactured, but that's the way he gets fired up. And whatever he's doing, he should keep doing, because he's the number one player in the world.
Well, I mean, it seems like he's equal opportunity when it comes to that. So much was made of his girlfriend coming up to him before the round at the PGA, and he was just laser focused on everything. What is he like, Joe? I mean, is he like the guy that popped into your video like that?
Yeah, he was all smiles. He was happy. I think the interview is really good. We talked about the girlfriend thing in it. It's going to run today. We have a FS1 show, kind of a preview show, and we joked around about it. And he's funny, and he's a real sports fan. His great uncle's Dick Groat, who won 2 World Series and also played in the NBA. He's got great athletic genes in his family. I think, he could play pretty much any sport. He'd rather be playing baseball, but he's the world's number 1 golfer. And he's a huge baseball fan. He's a Red Sox fan. He's an Astros fan because of his friendship with Jim Crane. And, he's just a regular kind of guy's guy. So there's nothing not to like off camera or personally, unless you're trying to beat him here at Pebble Beach. Then there's plenty to not like, because he's really freaking good and isn't scared of anybody out here.
Joe Buck here. A few more minutes left with Joe on the Rich Eisen Show. Weather going to be good? Everything looks good? Because, again, the videos that you've been sending out, it looks perfect. So I'm wondering if it's expected to be that way. Amazing.
It is perfect, and they've had a ton of rain. I think the most rain they've ever had in May. So it's lush. You know, you think of U.S. Open, especially recently, and it's last year at Shinnecock. It's kind of browned out. It's thinned out. You know, they make it as difficult as they can, but these fairways are holding. If somebody's accurate off the tee, and here, with a couple of exceptions, you really don't have to be that long off the tee. Everybody's in this, so to speak, because it's not a bomber's paradise. So some guys, you know, are going to maybe hit 3-4 drivers the whole round. And if that's the case, then that brings a lot of players into the potential winner circle. And I've talked to guys that know a lot more than me, but they're thinking 10, 12 under unless the wind blows. And right now, it's supposed to get windy maybe Friday, Saturday. It's supposed to be ideal on Sunday. So weather-wise, it couldn't be any better.
I'm fired up about it. That's awesome. Did you ring on Jim Nance's door and run up there in the Monterey Peninsula, Joe? Have you done that yet?
I did.
How'd that go? How'd that work?
Well, actually, no. I sneaked around the back, and I played the seventh hole, his replica seventh hole, here at Pebble Beach in his backyard, and turned on the music, and I spent a couple hours back there.
You know what, Joe? That's just you being you. I would expect no less. That's fantastic. Good
I would,
for you.
and he did that same kind of thing when the PGA Championship was in St. Louis. I woke up one morning and he was just swimming in my pool.
That's odd. But you know what? I would expect no less of Jim. That's just you and
No.
That's just you and Jim doing your thing. All right. Good luck.
We've always had that. We've always had that kind of relationship.
Well, good luck to your Blues tonight, Joe. And I'll be thinking of you watching that game tonight.
I will be here at Pebble Beach watching alone in my room with a scarf wrapped around my neck.
Yeah, by the way, Ham just texted me. He's wondering why he wasn't in the Fox promo, that one of the four that Koepka was not in. How come Ham wasn't in that one?
No, I'll send him a link. He's in a couple of them.
Okay, very good. Take care, Joe. Have a great Father's Day. Best to Michelle.
All right. Thank you, guys. You too.
You got it. That's Joe Buck, @Buck on Twitter. And tonight, Bruins fans can absolutely tweet at him saying you're rooting against my team because it's fact.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.